Hey guys, new video for last Epoch. Right, so this is going to be probably the last update of the build. I might post another video later on at like 1000 corruption, but currently at 700 corruption, farming and pushing all the way up to 1000. Did my first Aberoth kill and changed up the build quite a bit, so I thought I'd make an update video. Alright, so basically now it's sort of like a hybrid build of Ignite and Frostbite. So basically we are pretty much like 99% focused on Ignite. And this like Frostbite thing sort of happened as like accident, or I didn't really intend to do this, but I was farming my blessings and I got a 100% max roll blessing for Frostbite. So I thought, well, let's try it out because it's not like on hit with frost skills or cold skills like most Frostbite sources are. It's just like generic on hit. So I thought, well, that could be good, right? Because we already have some like generic on hit from the gloves, the Frostbite shackles. This has a like 130% on mine, and then Frostclaw itself has like 40% chance on the tree. So we're at like 250% chance to inflict Frostbite. So that's like pretty good, right? And the other alternative would have been cold resistance, which would be a little bit more ward retention, but not that impactful, like 25% ward retention. So that's not like super big, right? And I think going for the Frostbite was the better option because as soon as I did that, like I did feel my damage went up quite a bit. And also we are scaling a lot of our damage with just like generic elemental damage. Like there's the elemental damage over time, elemental damage over time, elemental damage over time, damage over time. Not just like fire damage, right? Specifically. So I mean, we do have some like fire damage here and there, but for the most part, all of our increased damage is just like generic elemental damage. So that works out quite nicely for the Frostbite part as well. Okay, so let's go into the video. First of all, let's run a few monoliths and bosses so you guys can see it in action. I gotta say that this build is a little bit squishy. In monoliths, you can get one shot by the event monsters. For some reason, they are extremely tanky. And they do insane amounts of damage. Like the archers, the arbalists or whatever, they like one-shot me. Like 90% of my deaths in monoliths are all from those arbalists. Really starting to not like them. And yeah, at one point I thought the build was just bad because I was just dying every now and then to randomly one-shot. And I was like, I took a look at all my deaths and like I realized that 90% of my deaths are all from these monsters that are in the event monsters. So I think if the event monsters weren't in the game right now, then this would just be like blasting all the way through pretty easily. Bossing at this level of corruption is a little bit getting to be a little bit sketchy, especially the shades, because basically if we're not attacking, then we're not getting our ward, and as soon as we stop attacking to even just dodge something, then we are pretty vulnerable. But definitely probably doable. Not going to be like super comfy, but for the cost investment, I think this is like really good. Farmer, like I started playing it day one, all the way from day one, started this build and all the way up to now 700 corruption farming. Farmed up like 10 million gold. I've spent like 5 million gold on the character, so actually very cheap. A lot of the items you can see, these are like really easy to get 2 to 3 LP on. And the other items are fairly cheap as well, right? Just like using 1 LP items. So for this like price, getting to this like level, being able to farm up, like I had like, right now I only have 68k favor, but I had just like, 200k favor just by like randomly doing a few monoliths, because I guess also the favor increase gain, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's jump into some monoliths, guys. All right, you can see we are at like 700 corruption. I have failed like quite a few nodes here, you can see. These are all arbalist deaths, by the way. All right, hopefully this monolith isn't going to be full of bullshit, but let's get going. So if you notice, like on normal monsters, the clear is like phenomenal. They die pretty quickly. We can tank pretty much everything in a monolith except for these like event monsters, right? You see there, like everything's just like dying, and the clear on this Frostclaw is like pretty insane with the amount of cast speed we have, and then the like the novas going off. And I actually spec into a what do you call it, the spark charges on the novas too, because these spark charges are also going to be generating extra hits for like Frostbite and for the... Oh wow, it's already here. What? Okay, maybe we'll run one more after this thing here, but yeah, the spark charges giving like a lot more hits for both Frostbite and Ignite. I guess the alternative was like some more, either more damage area nodes or maybe some just like more Ignite chance, but you know, this is pretty cool, I think, having the spark charges. But yeah. But yeah, you can see pretty good so far, like nothing is really doing that much damage, and we're able to clear it like pretty good at like pretty good speed, I think. And like the mana situation, I'm not really actually paying attention to my mana, but you can see I'm actually running a bit low, but I'm not really using my teleport as much as I should. Alright, oh, are these the archers? Okay, no. Thank God. These guys are just tanky, okay, so they're not really that big of a problem. We can kind of just blast them away from range. Alright, let's kill this guy here. Do we get anything? Oh, intelligence and attunement. Let's empower it one more time. Alright, pretty easy. Alright, let's run the monolith a little bit more. Maybe we'll just get one shot and run into those like Arbalest. Like a lot of times I'll just like teleport in. Oh, I think those guys might be some. I'll just like teleport in and then teleport into a pack of those Arbalists and just like die. But you can see the ward generation, pretty insane, right? Getting it to like 15k. I've gotten to like 25k ward when there was a lot of enemies to hit because of the Invoker static touch ring. And then I guess the monsters are alive for long enough so that I'm actually able to build up quite a lot of Ignite stacks on them. And the best thing about Frostclaw is you can just like off-screen, right? You don't really have to get that close into danger. You can kind of work your way up a little bit here and there and just like kill everything off screen. So we got Lizard. Never mind. Alright, I think that's about it for the Monolith, guys. Let's go do some bosses. Alright, let's get some ward before we get in there. Oh wait, do we have the... Oh, we do have the needle. Okay. Alright, let's get a little bit of ward, and I think that is probably good enough. Alright, things are looking good so far. And that was really close. I think once we get like further in, like higher corruption, I probably won't be able to tank that anymore. But he is dying very quickly. 16k ward. Oh, we got a relic. Anything good? Doesn't have LP, but... Oh, it's an 8%. Nice. Okay. Let's go do the shade. Alright, hopefully he doesn't kill me. Oh shit, okay, this is kind of bad. Alright. Oh man, that was so close. Like, getting caught without your flame ward. Man, I really need to get another charge on my armor. If I had the extra charge on the armor, this would be so much smoother. I got a ring, 1 LP, Shattered Chains, pretty nice. Alright guys, so let's go over some of the changes of the build. First of all, let's talk about the skills because, first of all, Frostclaw, right? So I went and slammed a bunch of my unique items and got cast speed. So I got some cast speed here, got some cast speed here, and I got a new torch with cast speed and the -5 and ignite on it. I also did slam this here, some extra elemental damage. So I got like a lot more cast speed. Right now, without any modifiers or buffs up, I'm at 174. And when I start doing everything with the Craterborn buff with the max, stacks, 214 cast speed. So my previous setup, I started running out of mana. I didn't have enough mana sustain because I just gained like 90% more cast speed. So basically what I had to do is I had to change some things around. So on Frostclaw now, I took out Frozen Malice. Before I was using Frozen Malice too, and it was just too much. So now at 11 mana cost Frostclaw without the Frozen Malice, and it's working out pretty good. So this setup now is nice, and I think actually in hindsight, instead of getting cast speed on the heart, I think it would have been a lot better to get a +2 Frostclaw. Even just +2, you know, don't even need +3, because if you had +2, you could get rid of this point, and then you can go 1, 2 here into Frozen Rain, and then the last point you could put into Frozen Malice. So you could have this whole wheel here, as well as 3 points in Celestial Conflux, and run that like this, and that'll be a lot better. So actually, yeah, even though this is like pretty nice, 30% cast speed on the heart, it was like my 4th try, right? And right now there isn't any on the market that are, you know, good stats, so I don't really want to do another slam, but maybe in the future I'll change it over to Frostclaw so I can get this extra repeat, because Frozen Malice, this really helps with clear in Monoliths, because a lot of times when targets are moving, it's actually hard to hit. They actually dodge the Frostclaw hits, basically. So having that auto cast that's like auto targeting is probably going to be really, really good. Okay, so that is the changes to Frostclaw. Did make a few changes to Elemental Nova as well. So now, actually, instead of this damage here, I decided let's go for Spark Charges. I mean, this does give it a little bit more damage too. So Spark Charges are kind of cool because, well, first it's extra hits. So more hits, more ignite stacks. I guess we could technically get more ignite stacks here, but these are going to be applying other on hit effects. So like stuff like our Frostbite, it's going to apply the Frostbite, and then also it's more hits for Invoker Static Touch, basically. So basically that's the main reason, just getting more hits for the ward on hit. It's kind of nice, right? I don't really know how impactful it is. It did feel a little bit better than just having the, you know, the pure damage or the ignite chance, right? But I don't know, maybe you could take this out and go for more ignite chance if you want more damage, because this might be a little bit more damage, I think. But anyways, also, I guess, yeah, actually, yeah, the Spark Charges probably are more damage because we have a lot of like generic ignite chance, I think. So that would be technically more than like just 100% ignite chance. So that is the skill tree for Elemental Nova. And then Meteor hasn't really changed. Teleport hasn't really changed either. And Flame Ward, I took out all of the extra damage on Flame Ward and put it all into the ward retention and everything here for damage reduction. Okay, so passives have changed a little bit. The Mage tree isn't changed. The Rune Master tree I've changed to get full ignite chance here, shock chance as well. Basically put all my points into damage, pretty much, right? And then in Sorcerer, I think nothing has really changed. I don't know if this was in the original video, but I did pick up this for a little bit of mana spent gained as ward. This is actually quite nice for the, what do you call it, ward generation. Okay, aside from that, everything else is pretty much the same here. Now let's take a look at some of the blessings, actually. So the only thing that's really changed is when I actually got this 100% chance to apply Frostbite on hit blessing, and yeah, that ended up working really well. So that's pretty cool. As for gear, I did recraft a body armor, and you can see here I found this on the market. So pretty cool, right? It's got like I guess it's okay. There's very little of these good bases on the market, and ideally, like I said before, I do want to have a sealed Flame Ward charge, so I'll have 3 Flame Ward charges. It's going to make the build feel a lot better. And then the belt is the same belt. Now I'm starting to realize that increased cooldown recovery speed actually is very good, especially because I want to reduce the cooldown of my Flame Ward and teleport. Having a, you know, even though we actually only need a 6-second cooldown on teleport to keep the buff of, you know, the Craterborn buff up, teleport is like good for mobility too, right? So it's like if you have a lower cooldown on teleport, it's going to feel a little bit better moving around the battlefield, dodging things, like, because you have 2 of these evade charges, but then after that stuck with teleport. And this character isn't very fast, right? We're at like 66% movement speed, so not the fastest character, and I'm pretty much always relying on my evade or my teleport to move around and dodge things. So having a lower cooldown, that's going to be nice. And then lower cooldown for Flame Ward is pretty big, right? because this character pretty squishy. Aside from the big ward pool we don't really have that much defense. Like the only defense is this like damage reduction we have in Rune Master over here, Sphere of Protection, which is only -6. I should probably put more points in here, but that's the only amount of reduced damage we have. So we're taking the full damage from pretty much everything, and maybe there probably might be some better ways to do that, like with the Prism Wraps or some other body armor, or maybe instead of going for Calamity, going for the other helmet that it's like the Crest of Unity helmet again. Maybe go back to that, because that had, let's see if I can find one. Well, I don't have one, but that has like up to -18%. Like enemies do 18% less damage when they are ignited. And since pretty much everything is going to be ignited, you know, it's another source of damage reduction. So maybe that might be nice. We'll see what happens. All right, so I still have not found a replacement for Invoker Static Touch, and sadly, this is probably just going to be your endgame ring. I've tried so many things around. Maybe like even getting more HP and that kind of stuff, but I think actually rather than scaling HP, maybe getting more ward retention is the play, because I'm gaining a lot of ward on hit already, even on bosses and monoliths, and I think having more ward retention in the end is going to allow me to actually have a higher ward pool than just increasing my ward generation from heart, because I think ward generation actually isn't that bad. It's just the the ward retention is a little bit low. I mean, 500, like almost 600 ward retention is maybe, I don't know how low that is, but it's, you know, a sizable amount. But maybe imagine getting like 800, 900 ward retention. I don't even know if you could get that much, but we'll have to see, right? I think I'm leaning towards more ward retention right now. Maybe going HP, like I can get up to 2k HP if I tried, if I got like health, hybrid health, got like health on the helmet, health on the armor. Maybe, yeah, that's about it, right? Pretty much all you can do for health. So you'll get to like 2k HP, so getting almost double the amount of ward generation if you went the HP route. But then you would be losing a lot of ward retention. So it's kind of hard. I'm not really sure what is optimal at this point, because I haven't been playing ward builds since they changed or they nerfed ward. So we'll have to kind of see how that works out. All right, guys. So I think that'll be it for this video. I'll have a link to my Aberoth kill if you're interested in that, to see how it was. It was extremely smooth. Like, actually the smoothest Aberoth kill I've ever done. I went in there blind. Well, not blind, because I've killed him last patch, but my first attempt. And he was just, like, completely dead. I could tank a lot of his abilities because he does some big hits, but I was constantly over 10k ward. I'd take a hit and instantly be back up to 10k, like 10 to 15k ward, because of the Ashes of Mortality, and I'm doing like well over 2k ignite stacks, pretty much. I'm pretty sure over 2k, because I was gaining like 4 to 5, 6k ward per second in that fight. But anyways, that'll be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the build. I've had a blast playing it. I just think it is a little bit squishy. Damage is okay. Yeah, just a little bit squishy, right? But overall, very good for the amount invested, I think, because, like, you know, there's so many good sorcerer builds, right? And rather than playing, like, if you're going to go play, you want to play, like, Static Orb Sork, or, like, Spark Charge Sork, the budget versions of that are just, like, pretty terrible, right? So you don't want to play those. But this build, you could play, it's still Frostclaw, it's still similar. You can farm up your mana stacking gear and then swap over to that using this build, which is very cheap to put together, right? You don't even need the 3 LP. But anyways, that'll be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.